And now a Mexico moment with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It's another Mexico moment with Nate and Alexis. I am your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And this is episode number 16.
Woo.
Did you just wave at me?
I did. I said, hey.
Yeah. Well, I guess we do have video going.
Yeah,
so,
I gave you a little twinkle.
Yeah.
Hey guys. I'm not waving to you. I'm waving to the people.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on? What is happening? So I think last week we kind of talked about taking Tigre in on Friday.
Yep.
Was it last Friday, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah. And I can't remember which appointment that was because we've had so many fucking appointments.
So many. Every appointment we go to, they're like, okay, well, we'll see you in a couple days. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
See you then.
Uh-huh.
So getting the days confused.
But I think did they say I think they said it was looking good last Friday, but then when we went in on Monday, it looked like he was getting a little more infection.
It's kind of red.
Even though we're like doing we do. Oh my god, so many drops and creams and stuff,
creams and
Jesus.
times and schedules.
But he also has that collapsing trachea, so it was that medication that
prednisone.
Prednisone that was making him
terrible stuff.
What was like the side effects? It was like, well, we think it make his legs like weaker.
Yeah, it was making his legs wobbly, and then it was counterproductive with his eye healing.
It keeps things from healing, which fuck.
Or especially, they were saying especially an ulcer. Great.
Yeah.
So
now we got on some other medication for his cough, and it's a anti-diarrhea.
Yeah,
but
Lomatil.
Yeah, you use it for if you have diarrhea or if your dog coughs.
Yeah, it can be used for a lot of different things.
Okay.
And we're finding that a lot in Mexico here. I've never been prescribed human medication for our dogs before. Here, they're like, oh, natural supplements, or you can give them a lower dose of this or that. It's very strange to me, very foreign.
I think if I want to go conspiracy theory, I think it is in the United States, they're trying to, they'll prescribe you doggy Valium or whatever for
have to get it
for the
here.
plane. But you can't go to the pharmacy and get it, or maybe you can, but they have a dog one instead of it's the same medication. They just slap a dog label on it, and it's probably costs a lot more or something.
I'm sure. Yeah. When I took, I remember last time in the States, I went to Target to fill one of Tiger's prescriptions. Actually, I think it was when we were back in Iowa, that cough medication. I had to go there and fill it out for Tiger. It was the oddest thing. I forgot about that.
Weird.
He was, my kid or something, or filling it out for myself. They're like, what's his name? What's his age? And it was just for cough tablets. It was so odd.
I think it's weird at pharmacies. I remember when we were living in Atlanta and I would pick up your birth control or whatever from the grocery store pharmacy. I feel like it's weird that I can pick it up and I just have to know your name and your address.
Well,
Isn't
I
that
think
weird?
I let them know. I think I said, my husband, I can put my name on your account, or on my account. So I think
I don't know about that.
that's what I did.
Well, it's the same thing with anybody. If you're a caretaker for an elderly person, I'm pretty sure you can just go and just say their name, and maybe they're a little more strict if it's something that's an opioid or something
probably
like that.
depends what it is. Birth control, they're like, sure, guy.
Yeah,
here you
what
go.
are you gonna do?
What else do you need?
Yeah. But he's on Monday. It wasn't looking great.
Yeah,
or it was looking a little red. So they gave us some different medications and stuff, and so here we are again. We went to the vet again today.
We're happy. We love our vet. They're amazing. I'd rather them, throw things at me. Let's see what helps him. All the things. Give me all the things that will make him heal faster and better.
I mean, our office visit is $5. So if we're not getting, that's how much the office visit is. If you're not getting any medication, they're just doing a checkup for his eye. Yeah, it was $5. So that was nice.
That's very nice.
But this past weekend, we celebrated Tiger's birthday.
Yay, 14.
Yep. And so our friends Jared and Brittany were in town, and so we took them
They flew down specifically for Tiger's birthday.
That's right. If you saw my beer chug, you know that.
We invited everybody, and they are the only ones that showed up.
Yeah. Well, we went to, Friday we went to Escaret, right? And
Saturday we went to...
Yeah, and Saturday we went to
Cozumel.
Cozumel. Yep. But Friday at Escaret, you You scolded a man.
I did. It was a great day.
So what happened?
It was a good time. We're just, walking through, showing him the turtle nursery. What is
Yeah,
it,
I'd say
or-
it's a nursery. They've released, what was it, like 8 million turtles
Yeah.
since like 1993.
Gosh, correct.
Yeah.
And you can see them. They're in like little baby turtles in one pool, and like they gradually get bigger, like
yeah,
the
they're
little
like
Russian doll.
teenagers. Yeah. yeah, those little
And
Russian
then they have
dolls.
the huge, like adult ones. So we're in like the teenager turtles watching them. You're showing Brittany and Jared, and this man, I see him like bend down to the tank to, I don't know if he was trying to feed them or touch them. And I just looked at him like, oh, you're not supposed to touch the turtles, but he didn't. And then he went down again in front of his wife, poked the turtle in the shell, and it went flying off. And I was like, no touch. I was like pointing at the sign, like, don't touch him. Look at the sign. And he just looked like so scared and like bashful, and his wife kind of looked at me like, I don't understand what's going on, but maybe they didn't speak English, but I was just pointing. I was like, no, don't touch the turtles. No touch.
Yeah, it does say there's like a fucking sign. That's
There's
the only
signs
sign that says it.
everywhere, and there's literally an image, it's like the finger and touching the turtle and a big no, like don't do it.
Yeah.
But he
So,
did it.
good job.
Thanks. I'm just, watching out for the turtles, and that's crap people weren't there.
Yeah, so that was a good time. We spent the day there.
That was all day.
Yeah, that was all day. And then we went to Cozumel on Saturday for his birthday and took our friends there. And I always feel, but like, so we've had really good luck with weather, with people visiting or people that are just in town and they want to hit us up and like meet up or whatever. We've had great weather where it's kind of like Florida where it'll say it'll rain. It'll be like 30 minutes or 20 minutes or something.
Especially summertime.
If it does, yeah. Our friends came in town for an extremely short trip. They're only here for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of cloudy most of the time, which they're fine with because they didn't want to get sunburnt.
Yeah,
I
and they
guess.
live in Florida,
Yeah,
so
so
they're
they
like,
get-
we get enough sun.
But I just hate it because it doesn't do Playa del Carmen justice of like the aqua and emerald colors of the water.
You're
and-
worried about how the water is going to look in the beach. Like it definitely, is
Well, I want-
shiny and shimmers when the sun's out.
Well, I want people to have a good opinion of where we live or just this area, so they would come back.
Show
But
it out.
you don't want to have them go home and be like, "Oh, where are we going? Next trip? Oh, I don't know." Like it was kind of gross that, like, or not gross, but like the water didn't look like bluish because it was cloudy. I mean, it didn't look turquoise; it looked more bluish because it was cloudy.
Yeah.
But I guess Mexico problems, right?
I think they loved it. I think we see it differently now. We know how beautiful it can be, but we forget that people coming here the first time are like in awe, no matter what it looks like, sargasso, seaweed, or no matter what,
Yeah.
we're fresh eyes on it.
And then so we went over to Cozumel, and they failed to tell us that they get seasick.
Yes, they were like, so first the clouds, and then the rain, and then then they're like, yeah, should we be worried about this ferry? Is it rocky? And we're like, well, normally not, but it might rain today.
Yeah. And of course it was. It's never very rocky.
No.
Like I think one time we had it where it was kind of it was going back and forth. But yeah, of course it was, and they have seasickness or whatever. And I was like, did you realize this is an island?
They did great though. They took their Dramamine
Totally.
and just in time, and they did great.
Mhm. Yeah, so we get over there, we rent a car, we go around the island, and we go to this place. We talked about it before. It's called Senior Iguanas, and they have the best shrimp quesadillas on the planet, I think.
So good.
And they're very simple, but just I don't know.
Just easy.
I love them for
It's
some
like
reason.
fresh, like right there, and they're grilling it up on whatever.
Yeah. And so we go in, and we have Tiger, of course, and we've been there probably 20 times.
More than that.
Yeah, at least.
Probably, yeah.
And so we're getting ready to, or we were looking for a table. We were in there for a while, like, oh, should we sit this table? And we go sit there.
We're like, where's the breeze?
Yeah. The manager comes over, and he goes, you can't have your dog in here.
Oh.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And he goes, no, you got to get him out. And I was like,
And he was really close to us.
Yeah,
He
you-
was like, no.
yeah, it was up in my face. Like, what the fuck?
Oh.
And so I'm looking at, I was like, Tiger? And I was like,
Tigre?
yeah, I was like, we've been here so many times. I was like, we've been here like 20 times with him.
We're like, are you sure we can keep him in the bag? Like, what do you say? You have to put him up outside.
He's like, maybe you can sit outside, but he's like, no, you can't be in here. And I was like, we've been here so many times. He's like, no, this is a new rule. And I said, since when? We were just here like 2 weeks ago. And he's like, yeah, I was in the last week. And I was like, really? And I was getting mad. And
So
I was ready
mad.
to be like, all right, well, fuck you. I'll never come back here
You
again.
were-
I've been
you were
coming here for
so
like
close.
7 years.
Yep.
Yeah. And
When he said the outside part, you can sit out there or put him out there. I was like, it is 100 degrees outside, you know? Like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to put him outside. He's a little
Yeah.
potato.
I was like, fuck that. So we were getting ready to leave, and we're almost out of the restaurant. And he goes, I'm just kidding. And I was
We're
like,
oh
you
my
fucker.
God.
That's not even the a good joke.
Yeah.
You know, it's only funny to you.
He was really good. And I think he kind of felt embarrassed because he was really attentive the whole time, like for, Mexico. But he was checking on us a lot and asking us questions.
Well, he
So
just
it was
went a
good.
little too long.
He went a little
It
too
should have been after we were like, what? No. And like we looked all like startled.
Yeah.
He should have been like, just kidding. But he waited until like I was mad at that point.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck
I
this.
looked right in his eyes. I was like, really? Like so sad. He was like, really? I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
well, this is our favorite place.
Well,
Who are you?
Tiger was going to order the guac, and now he's not.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
Tiger wants to leave.
Yeah. So that
He was joking.
yeah, that was
All of
it. Ended
that.
up being
It
fine.
was great.
And so we went there, and then we wanted to get back to town because there's this brewery, and they have this lionfish pizza.
Oh, so good.
And so, well, first we went to our other favorite brewery, Kusam in Cozumel.
Yeah.
And so we go there, we have a
Love
beer,
Kusam.
and so we had a decision to make. We only had time to go to this other brewery, Punta Sur,
Mm-hmm.
that has the lionfish pizza, or there's these shrimp tortas that we talk about that we go to at this other place that's on the ocean. And we only had time to go to one of them.
Yep.
And so we said,
And it was a little cloudy. at
a
the
little
time.
cloudy, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're trying to figure out which one should we go to, and we're like, our friends are kind of foodies, so they're like, okay, let's go get the lionfish pizza because that's not something you can typically get.
Yeah, I was like, you guys have to have it.
Yeah. So we go there and we sit down, we look at the menu, and everything, all the fish on the menu is lionfish.
Yeah.
So our friend Brittany goes, it says subject to availability, and I was like, yeah, I mean, like every restaurant says that,
Yeah.
like what the fuck. So I was like, no, it'll be fine. Like they always have it. Like I've been there, I've had it like 5 or 6 times. Every time I've been there, they've had
Every
it.
time.
Yeah,
And you
so-
have.
So I go there, and I go to order, and she goes, "Oh no, we're out of the lionfish. I'm sorry."
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
why?
"What?" So we came, and
How?
truth be told, their beer isn't the greatest. It's okay. It's like it's drinkable, but it's not. I'm not going to take it home. That kind of
It's
like it's
good.
just I go there to drink beer there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not like, oh, I got to have this one at home.
Yeah.
So it's like then we're just sitting there and just okay, I guess we'll get some. What do we get? Some like Argentinian sausage.
We did. We
and
shared
something
some.
else.
That was really good. They
Yeah.
do have good food. It was hot. It was
Mhm.
really hot in there. But the lionfish pizza.
I
We
know,
were
it's so
talking it
sad.
up all day too. That was the worst part.
That
all
was
day.
really disappointing.
Oh my
Real
gosh.
disappointing. But yeah, I think they had a good trip. They're new parents. Their kid is 2 years old, Zoe, and she this is the first time that they've left home with her.
Yep.
Or like left her at home and
Like for
gone on a
this
trip.
long. This is the
Yeah.
longest that they've been away from her.
So they were like FaceTiming with her like a couple times a day.
Yeah.
I didn't know like you could FaceTime a baby, I guess.
Well, their
I mean, I
parents
don't
are
have
there.
any kids, obviously.
They
but-
were swapping out, Jared's parents were there and Brittany's parents
Okay.
were there. So the parents were
Yeah.
doing
But
the
I guess that's pretty cool because I don't know what I thought when I was a kid. My parents like went on a trip or something, and
Yeah.
I'd stay with my grandma or whatever.
I remember getting like calls,
Mhm.
especially if they went like a little bit longer, went out that night, you guys okay? Go to bed, blah, blah, blah. You get like that check-in call. Like once that call's done with the babysitter or whatever, then you're good for the rest of the night.
Yeah, but I guess that's pretty cool because you can see and talk to your kid
Yeah.
from anywhere now, and they, maybe they don't feel as lonely or scared or whatever. I don't know.
Or
but-
sad. They missed her. They were like, my baby. They really I mean, I wish I could FaceTime Tiger when I leave him. So, I get it. I would miss him.
Yeah.
I would totally FaceTime my baby if I was, in another country for sure.
We used to FaceTime Tiger when I lived across Orlando.
Yeah.
You were like, I want to see him because he would stay at my house for a couple
Yeah,
days
I'd be like, I
with
miss
my
him.
dog or with Pharaoh, and
Yeah.
then vice versa.
Or even when you went to, when you were in Atlanta first, and then I stayed back in Florida, we would FaceTime a little bit. Like they're gonna forget me.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last thing I remember from this weekend was we were walking by, I think we were walking back from Cozumel from the ferry, and we were walking by our favorite beer bar, and and we just waved at our buddies that work there. We're like, hey guys, how you doing? And then we continued on, and we noticed, and this is a pedestrian street, and we noticed down the side street that you can drive cars on, there's 2 cop cars there, and maybe 5 or 6 got out of the truck, or cop trucks, I guess. Maybe 5 or 6 got out of the truck, and then another one pulled up, and there was 5 or 6 more, and they all start walking down the street, and then they go into the beer club.
Yep.
And we're like, what the fuck? So we thought they're getting raided or something.
Yeah, they were like hustling in there, and they had one huge like German Shepherd like drug dog. We're like, oh.
And I saw the same thing happen to the place next door the previous weekend. So we asked the guy, and he was kind of weird about talking to us about it. So I thought maybe he thought that we were like, what are you guys doing wrong or whatever. But we were just honestly,
like, what happened?
We're just like honestly curious. But I talked to somebody else, and he said that there was some guy like that was wanted for like domestic assault or something like that, and he had ran through the bar, through the beer bar, and ran out the back door. So they were trying to find this guy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So it wasn't anything to do with them.
I thought like they had 6 cops for someone that left their beer tab. I was like, dang,
like, shoot.
better pay our tab and tip.
Yeah, but that is it for the weekend.
Yeah,
and
it was a good weekend.
it was nice, but just have 2 more weekends of doing nothing.
Yep.
And then I go on my trip, and then you have the house to yourself for a couple weeks.
You
So
and Tiger are gonna throw some parties.
let the parties begin, and by parties I mean mom shorts and Sex in the City, right?
Yes, I got some. I have no projects planned. Usually, I know when you leave, you usually hate. I come up with a project like painting something or hanging something. I'm not doing anything.
You're like, hey, babe, I hung the chandelier in the bathroom. I only poked 14 holes in the ceiling.
I do not. I might poke a couple holes. Well, you'll be happy. These walls, you cannot poke holes in.
No, they'll just have sticky marks from all of the command strips.
They come off safe and clean, okay?
Our bathroom wall says differently.
But I have no projects. Just girl time and, beach time and tiger time, obviously.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Okay, good.
It'll be fun. You're going to have a blast.
I will. And
the big 40.
I know. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll have more to discuss about that.
Yes.
But let's get to some listener questions.
Okay, that's fun. All right. First listener question is from Tara F. Do you two plan to live in any other countries? It's a good question.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and we'd like to. We just don't know where else we'd live. Yeah,
I want to live in Greece.
Yeah, I'm true.
I should have been like, ask me.
I don't know. I feel like that's one of those things like people here. They come here once for a weekend and they're like, oh, I want to live here. What do I have to do?
I feel like I would need a good amount of money to move to Greece and then like live there and like a good job, like either remote or something there. It really has to be pre-planned. Here we were a little bit cheaper and change some things around because it's cheap here. So,
but you just have kind of romanticized Greece. Like, why would you move there? Just because the food?
The food, the people, the scenery. Oh my God! Number one, the food.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the people.
I know.
Not like I had any rude experiences, but it wasn't. I didn't remember being like, oh my God, the people here are so amazing.
Everyone was nice, and maybe I just like flocked to that, like my family, because like. Remember right when we got off the plane or into the town, it was like there's a couple fighting, like Greek, yelling and this and that. I'm like, oh, I'm home.
Yeah, right.
They were just arguing, and I'm like, look.
Yeah, but I'd like to live in another country at some point and just check it out. I'm going on like I said, for my birthday, I'm going on this European trip with a couple of my buddies, and maybe I'll like visit one of these countries that I really enjoy and think, I'll take you back and then we'll go check it out. I have a friend that lives in Norway now.
Oh, yeah. We've been recommended a lot anywhere in Asia. Go to Asia, live for a while,
Yeah, Asia for sure. But I mean, just from living in Mexico, I feel like we could live in South America or like Central America, even though we're not like fluent in Spanish yet, but we kind of understand the culture a little bit and how things work and how to get around. And yeah, totally. I mean, you can't go wrong being close to the beach or, having a pool or whatever.
Definitely be by some water, warmer climate.
Yeah.
Water is a must.
That's my biggest thing and it's silly because we lived not by water for, I'm from Iowa, and even though we lived in Florida, we lived in Orlando for 10 years. So we weren't like right by the beach.
Well, that was like pre-COVID where you had to be in the city or your area for your job. You lived where your job was. There's not many jobs on the beach.
Yeah, but my point is that we didn't like always live by the beach, so it's weird that we can't fathom like not being by water or whatever. Because like we lived in Atlanta, even though we lived on the Chattahoochee.
Yeah,
maybe we're just water people. It doesn't matter if it's an ocean or what. Because I would like to live on a lake. Because from living in Florida, it'd be nice to live somewhere on a lake where maybe stuff in there isn't going to eat you.
Yes.
You know, like
Yeah.
that's why I enjoy going like water skiing or whatever when I go back to Iowa, is because you don't really, I mean, I'm sure there's probably something, but you don't, snakes or something maybe, but you really don't have to worry about alligators or sharks or fucking poisonous jellyfish.
I think we both grew up with like, water activities, going to the beach, loving stuff like that. So it's natural for us to want to live there. And we probably couldn't when we were younger, So now that we can, we're addicted to it and we're never going back.
Yeah. But if I had to move somewhere, I guess
where would you live?
We haven't even really, we've never lived anywhere else, and we've only visited Greece and Egypt together, other countries. But I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, like Belize or something, somewhere that's close to here that's probably kind of similar, or even just in Mexico City in Mexico, or on the West Coast. I think maybe not places I would live for the rest of my life, but just somewhere to experience a new area.
We heard a lot of good things about like Costa Rica and Bali, and
I feel like I get bored in Costa Rica.
Maybe.
Just I don't know.
I feel like it would be similar to here. I feel like it's gonna have all the same like touristy.
Yeah, I just mean like I feel like if I lived on an island, that I would just get bored. Like that's kind of why we didn't live in Cozumel, is we thought we'd get too bored there and we'd have to take the ferry really often. But we don't do a lot anyway. No. I mean a lot as in, it's not like we're like there's no nightclubs here. Where am I gonna get my fist bumping in?
Yeah, we don't do a lot of we don't do a lot of that stuff anymore.
But we go to eat and go to the pool and go to the beach. So I mean, we could have done that there.
Do you see that meme lately? It's like adults are the new like kids, because we can do all the same drunk things you do at like 3-4 a.m. during the day, like at noon. Like you can do your slip and slide or the beach or this or that, or
Maybe we find, I mean, this isn't moving to another country, but maybe we find somebody in Cozumel that wants to do like a house swap for a month.
Ooh,
like a friend, not just some fucking rando.
I think we have the girl. I think we would know the girl.
I think we do too. But that might be fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah. I'd like to do that, like house swap kind of.
Yeah. And also, we're going back to the States in August, like basically the month of August.
Yeah.
We're contemplating renting out our place.
Yeah.
Not for like a weekend, for like either a week or a couple weeks or a month or whatever. So if anybody out there is interested or knows somebody, send us a message, because it may be like we're trying to figure out how we do it and like keep our stuff away, or not away, but like pack it away so whoever would stay here would have closet space and stuff like that. But it is an idea that I'd like to entertain. So if anybody is looking to stay at a place here in Mexico, great location, rooftop pool, block from the beach, let us know. Send us a message, because
we didn't do it last year because I don't think we had time.
Yeah.
Like once we thought about it, we were like, oh man, it's a shame. This place is just sitting here with nobody for a month. So
yeah. Might as well. So, all right. Yeah. Good question, Tara.
Good question, Tara. You got us thinking. All right. Next question. You talk about taking a lot of different modes of transportation. Why don't you get a car or a scooter? Excellent question, Mike M.
Yes.
Were you talking to Mike?
No.
Are you trying to put that in my ear?
No, that's funny though, because we did just take a scooter today.
We did.
Our friend Carla that gave us a ride to the vet with Tiger, she's like, "Oh yeah, I have a scooter like at my friend's house around the corner. Do you want to take it back?" And I was like, "Okay." She's
the sweetest amiga ever. She's our neighbor, and our dogs love each other, and gave us a ride. And then, you want to take my scooter back? We're like, what?
Yeah, so
it was great.
But it was so nice. It was so nice to just be able to be like, I want to go somewhere now, and I can get there in a quick process. Where, if we want to go somewhere, it's like you either have to wait for a bus time or pay a taxi or whatever, and walk. I think right now we're feeling the pressure the most because it's so hot right now. Before, I don't mind walking. I'll walk there. I'll leave a little bit early. I'll get the sun. I'll do some things on the way. But now it's just so hot. It just zaps your energy. Well, and also we don't have we've normally not had a time to be certain places. Like if we want to, if we got to go to the grocery store or the mall or whatever, it's just kind of like whenever we want to get there. So it's not like. We have to, this bus, we have to wait for it, or whatever. But now with Tiger that we're taking him to the vet so often, that's now why it's an issue. We kind of base our day around the weather, like how hot it is, how sunny it is. Yeah, like we're going to take our laundry after this because it's too fucking hot during the day. It was like 106 today, I think. Yeah, way too hot. Yeah, but as far as why don't we get a car or a scooter, it's a lot of extra hassle. It's kind of like, why don't you have, and I know this, Playa del Carmen isn't as big as like New York City or like a large city, but it's kind of a hassle to find a place to park, or you have to pay for a parking garage, and then you have to get car insurance and buy the car, and then maintenance and gas and all these other
We
things.
heard some horror stories.
It's easier just to take the bus. That's like, $2 up the road or whatever. So
We've heard some bad like mechanic stories
Yeah.
lately, and a scooter would
Yeah.
be way easier than
if we
than
got
a car.
anything, I would say a scooter. I would definitely be interested in a scooter just because it's easier to store. It's easier to get around.
Our street has some nice parking. Our building has some storage, so I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe
Definitely.
it was very nice today.
Yeah. It'd just be nice to have
Just
her.
zip
And I guess
around.
that's why she said she split it with her friend. I guess that makes sense because then it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And then, when you're not
Don't always
using
need
it,
it.
then somebody else can use it.
Yeah.
Oh, makes sense. But
like it.
yeah, good question, Mike.
Good question. We're definitely thinking about that. All right, last question. I know it's American holiday, but does Mexico do anything for the 4th of July? And that is from Amy S. It's a good question.
Mhm.
We get holiday questions a lot.
Yeah. They do some things, but I wouldn't say Mexico. I would say
Yeah.
this area where like
More touristy
Mm,
areas.
yeah. and well also Canadian Independence Day is July 1st.
Oh,
So
okay.
so there's a lot of Canadians down here as well.
Yeah.
So there's constantly having restaurants around like the 1st through the 4th with different themed Canadian or American themed specials and stuff, which I really don't think they're anything special. They
Yeah.
just grill up some hamburgers that they make anyway, and they just
Yeah.
put a little American flag on it or
Or a
something.
couple of them, remember Thanksgiving? They're like, oh, Thanksgiving feast. And then we're like looking at what they're giving. And it would be like turkey and some potato dish, but then nothing else that you would recognize on Thanksgiving. It was cute that they're like, look, a Thanksgiving, dinner.
Yeah.
And we're just like,
Or it would be a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, but it's real expensive. It's like $50 a
Yeah,
plate or
yeah.
something because people are on vacation and they're trying to do Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it is, and so they kind of jack up the prices. So
yeah.
they do stuff, but it's not out of like the goodness of their heart. They're trying to make money, which more power to them. I would do
Yeah.
the same thing, but
We do
I
it
always
in the
feel like kind of
States, yeah.
weird. Like I don't want to be walking around wearing all my American flag shit and America kind of stuff. You just feel kind of guilty, but we shouldn't though, because in the States there's plenty of other countries and cultures and stuff that celebrate holidays that aren't native to our country, and I'm sure. Canadians, if they're living in the United States, they'll probably celebrate Canadian
sure.
Independence Day and stuff.
yeah.
So, yeah, but I do always feel like a little hesitant, like I don't want to walk around like
I know.
I think it's more you look like a tourist.
I don't want, yeah, that's the thing here. I don't want to walk around looking like an American flag because they're going to be like, oh, you want some weed? You want some Coke? You want
Yeah.
this? You want that? I'm gonna be like, no, I
Yeah.
live here. I know
You
I
want
don't
my
look
sister?
like. Yeah. I did put up some decorations though in our house. I usually change like our little door hanger and then put up some decorations. My best friend always brings them for
Yeah.
us from the Dollar Tree. So I have a USA star flag hanging on the fridge right now.
Yep.
So we're celebrating, but they might not be.
Yeah, I don't know. We could just make some hot dogs or something.
Yeah, I want some hamburgers. I want
Yeah.
some like grilled hot dogs, hamburgers,
Wish we had a grill.
pool time. Maybe we could get a baby one.
Maybe.
All three of these listener questions have got us thinking about a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
So I like them. I
yeah,
appreciate
good
it.
question, guys. Send some more in if you get a chance. Just post them on Facebook or shoot us a message privately on our Instagram or something. Or
Keep them coming, like big or small, about Tiger, Mexico. It doesn't even have to be about Mexico.
yeah, for sure.
Any-
All right, good questions today. And now, Lex, are you ready for the Mexican slang of the day?
I am. Give it to me.
The Mexican slang of the day is tocayo.
Tocayo.
Have you heard this?
No, haven't
Yeah.
heard that one. That's
Yeah,
a new one.
I hadn't either, but it says that it's a nickname given to anyone who shares your first name.
Oh, you have a lot of tocayos.
There's a lot of Nates here?
Well,
Or just mean back in the States?
yeah, back in the States.
Yeah.
You know, like 6 of them.
Yeah, so you could say like, ahí va el tocayo. It means, there goes my tocayo.
Oh,
So that's my, it's not like blood brother, but it's like
Hmm.
we share the same name. It's kind of like
Ah.
and I think tocayo means namesake. So it's
Oh,
like
okay.
it's like my buddy, me and like the Nates are
Yeah.
together.
I think they have something like that in like in Greek heritage. I think we have like you have a name day, but then you also have like a name person. Maybe it's like with a god or something. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
I mean, you don't meet a lot of Nates around here. I'm sure you'd meet some Alexises though. So you
Yeah.
could be like, oh, mi tocayo. Yeah, like that'd be cool.
I do, you
Like,
know.
And they'd be like, what?
You know what though?
What?
They're always boys here.
Ah, true.
It's always men, and I hear
Mhm.
Alexis, and we both turn around. And I'm like, hi.
Hi. Yeah, so that's a good word to know, I
like
guess.
that,
Maybe if I
tocayo.
meet another Nate. Well, they never called me Nate. nate.
Nate,
Or
nate light.
Yeah. But then when I do say nate, just because I'm tired of trying to say my name, they are like, Nate? And I was like, oh, of course. Of course now you know.
The delivery driver the other night, I was like, para nate? And he was like, Nate? I'm like, yeah.
Well, at least they know something. Like the delivery drivers we had in the States, it was always like, Matt, Nick.
Yeah.
Like,
they could never get Nate.
Bill? Like, no, that sounds nothing like Nate.
Maybe, does it sound, here, Nate. Does it sound weird when I say Nate?
I just thought, because I sometimes mumble things, I'm just like, oh, I will talk about.
But they would do it to me too. I would say, what's
true.
the name
Good
under
point.
Nate? Then I just started saying Hanson.
Yeah. Or they would say mate. Like,
mate.
what makes more sense? Like what you always say to me when I hear you wrong and it's like something crazy. You're like, why would I say that?
I'll be like, grab me an apple. And you're like, you're going to Zimbabwe? I'm like, what makes more sense here?
Exactly. So, yeah. So
I like it. Good
find
word.
your tocayo.
I like it. Yeah, we're going to find a
Tocayo.
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 It's fun to say, too.
It is, right? Yeah. It sounds like some candy.
Ooh, yeah. I'll take a tocayo.
Hey, can you pass the tocayos?
Ooh.
I guess they sound like Takis. Maybe that's why.
Taki.
All right. That's a good one to have. But before we get out of here, Lex, you got anything?
For the 4th of July weekenders, watch your hands and fireworks. Be careful.
Watch your hands.
Watch your hands.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening. If you have any friends that would like to subscribe, podcastthebs.com. We appreciate you 2%ers. And we can't thank you enough for just supporting the podcast.
Right.
So.
Muchas gracias.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Listen and share to everybody.
Yeah. All right. Well, until next week, happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.